Hey, it's Michael, and this is the Kintsugi Podcast. I'll be back in a minute with this week's conversation about resilience. But first, if you wish to create a better life and have a better career, then please visit michaelobrienshift.com and download your free workbook on how to create a better life. In it, you'll discover ways to find more energy for the things and the people who matter most to you, so you can create a better tomorrow. Hey there, it's Michael, and welcome back or welcome to the Kintsugi Podcast. It's time for another conversation about resilience. And today I want to share a story. Actually, I want to share a dream with you that I had the other day. Pretty wild dream. It's about a bridge, a stranger, Dua Lipa, believe it or not, and letting go. And it all ties into this poem I read also a few days ago. And I know none of it makes sense right now, but if you stay with me, I promise in the end, it will make a lot of sense. Now, coming into this week, I was going to share a few other stories. One was how my inner critic spiraled down the rabbit hole last week because I made a simple error. I included the wrong YouTube link to my blog post last week. It was a perfectly imperfect error that we all make from time to time. But here's the thing, for whatever reason, it really triggered my inner critic, my 7th grade English post-traumatic stress disorder. I even thought for a moment I should just stop putting out my blog. My blog goes all around the world to thousands of people. And each week I hear from a good number saying, hey, I love that story. I love that piece of advice that really resonated with me. But last week, because I made this error, I probably heard from 10 to 15 times as many people as normal. I heard from people I didn't even know were receiving my blog. Now, I know now that their intentions were pure, but at the time, I just thought I wasn't that smart. I was somewhat stupid for making such an error. And they were letting me know because they wanted me to make sure I could make a correction because they saw the video. They found the video somehow, some way. And they were like, this is an important video for people to see. It was all about reflections from 9/11 that we honored here in the States, well, across the world, hopefully, but certainly here in the States. So they wanted to make sure that people saw the video. So again, their intentions were pure, but I received it in a inner critic way, like, how could you have made such a simple error? So I was going to share a little bit more about that, and I'm going to wait on sharing that. I'll share that in a few weeks. I also had a moment this past week where it was a no bueno rehab moment. I had a bit of regression from my total knee replacement that I've shared here on the Kintsugi Podcast and on other platforms. I have so much going right with my recovery. I'm so far ahead of schedule, but I had a moment where I didn't make progress, and my physical therapist picked up on my vibe because after all, we're just vibe. We're all just energy. It was so beautiful. And she caught me. She said, don't go there. And I will share more about that in an upcoming episode as well. But today, I really want to share this dream with you. Now, I will preface this by saying, I don't really dream a lot. I daydream, but at night, I don't have like vivid dreams. If I do dream, it's hard for me to remember what I dreamt about the night before, but this one was so vivid. There I was, all alone. It was somewhat dark, somewhat like evening time, if you will. Very foggy. I couldn't see in front of me. On top of this high suspension bridge. Now, if you've ever been ziplining, that was the image I had, like those rope bridges that travel from zipline platform to zipline platform. This one was super long, and with the fog, again, I couldn't really see 2 feet in front of me, let alone the end of the bridge. So I didn't know how long it was. And here's the thing you got to know about me. Heights and me, we don't get along. No bueno. Not good. I'm terrified. And walking across a bridge like that, I've been ziplining. It takes all that I can drum up, all the courage to do it because my wife likes to zipline. And so I try to cowboy up, if you will, so I can join her on her ziplining experience. But to make a long story short, when it comes to heights, I don't get along with heights, especially like something like that. So here I was terrified on this big suspension bridge, super long, super high up in the air. Now, this is a dream, so we're interpreting all this. And I couldn't see in front of me. And here's where Dua Lipa comes in. Her song Hallucinate was playing in the background. It was almost like it was the soundtrack of this dream. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to let all that sink in, because now it's like, oh, big bridge, Dua Lipa Hallucinate, foggy, uncertain, anxious, all that. And as I told my wife this dream, she just looked at me and she said, well, that was a very interesting dream. And I know like you could unpack this dream in so many different ways, and you might be doing that right now. Like, what does the bridge mean? What's the bridge to? Like, where are you going? Is this like a really scary, bad ending type of bridge, or like what's happening? So I totally get it if you're trying to interpret or analyze the dream right now. I think that's pretty natural. Now, before you get any further into your analysis, I will let you know that I made it to the other side. I made it across this bridge. So that was pretty cool, like yay me moment. So there I was, though. This is how it happened. I was there hesitating. Should I walk across this bridge? Should I stay back? Should I walk across? Should I stay back? And all of a sudden, a stranger, I don't know if it was male or female or non-binary, don't know, just a stranger, because strangers pop into your dreams. So a stranger popped into my dream and helped me walk across the bridge. So that was pretty cool. Again, Dua Lipa was playing in the background, her song. So why do I share this dream with you? Again, you're probably trying to interpret the meaning. And so here's the cool thing about us humans is that we love storytelling. And so we can interpret this a lot of different ways. And we could probably go mining into my brain and really never come up with the real reason for the dream. But here's how I'm looking at it. This is why I'm sharing with you. Because I think it's something that we all face, at least my interpretation of this dream. Something that we've faced, maybe dreamt about, maybe ruminated about. In essence, how do we get to the other side of something when we feel resistance, when we feel anxious, when there's uncertainty? Maybe like this moment in time. This week, we flip from, here on the Northern Hemisphere, we flip from summer into fall. It's a change of seasons. We're walking across that bridge, if you will. We're walking from lemonade into pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice is really huge in the US. I'm not sure if it's huge everywhere else in the world, but they've turned everything into pumpkin around here, which is somewhat disturbing, to be honest. But I digress. A little pumpkin spice, that was good, but they took a good thing and they just like went crazy with it. Now it's not such a good thing. So again, I digress. But we're also transitioning like into fall, like we're watching Mother Nature do her magic, letting go of things in order to grow again. Now, it just so happens a few days ago, I celebrated my birthday. And so around my birthday, the weekend before my birthday, I do some pausing, breathing, and reflecting on what I wish to bring into the new year. What do I wish to let go of? And what do I wish to bring in? And what do I wish to acquire in the new year? And I'm also working on transitioning my business, walking that bridge. And I know this transition of my business will impact not only my life, but my family and everyone around me and my clients and the whole peloton, if you will, as I like to say. So what does all this mean? It means that I'm in the process of letting go, or at least thinking about letting go. But I have to cross the bridge in order to let that stuff go. And when I let go of things, just like when you let go of things, it creates some space so we can all grow into something a little bit more wonderful in the months or the years to come. And so when I think about this moment where I am, the birthday is one thing, but the change in business and change of seasons and just getting through 2021 into 2022, it's exciting with one breath. I'm totally pumped about the future. And then I have oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this moment. Like, what are you thinking about? That's when fear sets in. And fear sets in because the path This walk across the bridge is uncertain. On this side of the bridge where I am right now, it's comfortable. It's what I know. It's safe. I know I can be successful in it. And that's exactly the reason why I need to cross that bridge, because it's too safe. And being too safe for too long just doesn't work. For those listening that happen to be in the US, we'll take the company Blockbuster. They're out of business because they stayed too safe for too long. Plus, the reason to cross that bridge for myself, and I will submit perhaps for you, is that there's something better on the other side at this stage in my life and possibly your life. And as I look at this moment that we all share, this whole kerfuffle known as the pandemic, I think this is a perfect moment to change. When we have chaos, that's when we can change. We can just come up with a new flip chart, wipe everything clean. It gives us a chance to reinvent and reimage almost every aspect of our work and our lives. The real question is do we have the curiosity and courage and commitment to cross the bridge during chaos? I do believe this, that we all have the ability to cross this bridge. But most people will stay on the side of comfort. They won't cross it. They might say they want to, but they'll get to it later, or maybe they just outright refuse. They just want to go back to how it used to be. There are definitely those folks out there. So they'll never cross because it's too safe. It's too comfortable. They're like, we're just doing just fine. There's no need to cross a bridge. There's no need to reinvent or reimage or do any of that. Like, we're good. All that bluster about why they can't cross the bridge or shouldn't cross the bridge, that's all body armor in a lot of ways. Body armor to protect, well, the feeling of being scared or fear or walking into the fog and the uncertainty, all that jazz, whatever holds us back, all that stuff that's within us, all that stuff that comes out only through emotional labor. And then there'll be others who will cross the bridge. They'll accept that life has always been uncertain. We've never had certainty. It's always been uncertain. And they've learned how to change their relationship with the uncertainty. They've learned how to dance with it differently. And they know this, that everything is figure outable. Now, there are two other important parts of this dream I'll share with you. One is this stranger, the stranger who assisted me. And the meaning I'm placing on this, the story I'm telling myself about this stranger, is that it's hard to break through the resistance. It's hard to cross the bridge by ourselves. Life is not a solo project. We need a Sherpa, if you will, or coach. In my vernacular, we need a great Peloton, maybe more than one stranger, to help us cross our bridges in life. So it's important to be surrounded by the type of people who will help you cross your bridge. And maybe, just maybe, like in my dream, it's a stranger, someone who is not in your inner circle just yet. Or maybe it's someone in your inner circle and you're giving them a new role. You already know the person, but they've never played this role for you. So we need some strangers or some people to help us cross our bridges, to help us get to the other side, to make this transition of letting go and stepping into new growth. Now I want to talk about Dua Lipa. So that's the second additional thing I want to share with you about this dream. Why did Dua Lipa appear in my dream? Now, she's an international icon now, pop star, very popular, really came to a whole new level during the pandemic, during chaos. So if you know the song Hallucinate, now I should say, like, I live a clean life. There was no funny business going on before I went to bed, right? So I live a clean life. It wasn't something I drank or something I ate or anything like that. So if you know the song Hallucinate, it's catchy. It will stick in your head. But if you know the spirit in which it was written, what Dua has said is that it's about being so deliriously in love with someone. It just takes you on this massive, amazing, all-encompassing trip. Now, when you think of that, the reason why she wrote it or the meaning behind the song, now I want you to imagine yourself as that someone, that you are so delirious in love with you. And I'm not talking about like a narcissistic angle here. I'm talking about like you love all your perfectly imperfect Kintsugi qualities, all your scars, wrinkles, blemishes, all your goof ups and hiccups and all that. Every aspect of who you are, you love. And you know that you don't need someone to complete you. And you don't feel like you have to do more to be more because you're already more. Like if you are that in love with you. Now imagine if you were so deliriously in love with you again. And then because of that, it helped you make your life this one massive, amazing trip. So when you look at it through that lens, would you cross the bridge? Would you get through the resistance, all the obstacles? Because one could say, like, the obstacles are not in your way. The obstacles are the way, right? The resistance is not in your way. The resistance is the way. Now, if you say awesome sauce to that, like, oh my God, that would be so cool if I could like step into life that way, I think that's great. Now, if you said still no, I am not going to do it. I'm not going to cross that scary bridge because it's too scary. I totally get it. It's hard. But I will encourage you to pause, breathe, reflect on what's in you, because I believe within us all, there's so much strength, so much courage. You've gotten through 100% of your challenging moments to date, and I believe you're going to get through the next one because you already know what it takes to get through tough moments. We all do. If we're here today, if you happen to be listening to this. So you know how to get through the resistance. And all it takes is the first step. So if you will commit to the first step, I will commit to being like maybe that stranger that pops into your dream to help you on the other side. And if we're lucky, maybe Dua Lipa will sing as we cross the bridge together. So that's the story I wanted to bring to you. As we flip into fall, as we go through transitions, as we think about ending the year, we're all going to have a bridge that's in front of us. On one side, it's safe, it's comfortable. On the other side, it's filled with opportunities, but there's resistance there. There's uncertainty, there's anxiety, there's fog. My encouragement to you is take that first step. Get the right people around you to help you cross that bridge, and get a very popular singer to play the soundtrack for you. It makes it a little bit easier. So that's all I got this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's conversation about resilience on the Kintsugi Podcast. Until next week, remember to pause, breathe, reflect, and don't forget to sign up for our One Ripple Challenge. We started it on the 20th of September. We're going to do it all the way through Thanksgiving here in the States. Each day, we're going to ripple gratitude, kindness, and self-care. It will change your life, I promise. And you can sign up either via my website or you can head to Instagram, and it's on my Instagram link tree, either at Pause, Breathe, Reflect or Michael O'Brien Shift. Either way, you're going to find it, and I hope you'll join us on this Ripple Challenge so you can change your life, and by doing so, you'll change lives everywhere. So until next week, again, remember to come back to your breath in your tough moments and know that you got this and we got you. And don't forget to have fun storming the castle. We'll talk to you next week. Love you. Bye-bye.